Good morning, fifth graders. Let's go through what we have today. And I'll also go through, maybe I'll do that first. Tomorrow, there's a few things that you're going to need to turn in, or Monday, depending on when you go to the packet pickup. But when you go to the pickup, if you would please bring your Journeys textbook. We're going to be switching to something else so you can turn in your Journeys textbook. Any pages that you completed in your workbook for religion and science can be torn out and put with your packet if you did any activities in there. If you did all the activities in Google Classroom, you do not need to bring the packet. Your Hound Dog True book, we're all done with that, so you can send your Hound Dog True book back to school. Any library books you have are being asked to return that you have at home. If you know you have any in your desk, if you'd let me know too, I can pass it down to library. And it looks like since the end of the year is done, any battle books that you have at home still, I will also need to be returned. On Friday or Monday, you'll be picking up your Reader's Magazine, and this is what we're going to use in place of your Journeys textbook. Senora Larrabee asked for your Spanish folder to be sent home, so if you have any questions, you can ask her. I put that in your packet. I gave you your next 2 weeks of materials. I also included your Scholastic and Venture magazines. These are just resources in case you want to read with them. They're not assignments, but they're in my cupboard and we subscribe to them, so I just want to make sure I pass them along. I also added a postcard in there just for fun. So the things that you need to turn in, I'll also attach this to your email to your parents today, but you will need your Journeys textbook turned in, Hound Dog True book, library books, battle books, all those books, and then any work you did on paper, whether that's a workbook or your packet activities, anything that was completed in there you can turn in. If you did it all on the computer, don't worry about it. Okay, so today is Thursday, and we're going to wrap up with polygons with the other half of this assignment. I hope the first part went okay. Let's see here. So slide 6 through 10 is what you're working on. So we're talking about regular and irregular polygons. And the definition, or the example that I would say, is basically looking at whether it's like a perfect octagon. Think about like a toy that has the shapes. When you're picturing a shape, if it's these perfect measures, that's going to be a regular polygon. It has equal sides and equal angles. If they're irregular, so this has a big angle here and a tiny angle there versus all equal, now some long sides, some short sides, that means it's an irregular polygon. If it's got some indented parts of it, that is also going to be a irregular polygon. Now that has a specific name, but for now, if it doesn't look perfectly equal with angles and sides, that means that it's irregular. If it does look perfect, then it would be regular. So you're going to practice that with this option, or this slide, sorry, my brain kind of froze for a minute. This slide says you're going to look at the polygons in the box, click on the green box and fill in the correct word. So looking at the number of sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there are 2 5-sided figures here. So on the line, I need to write what 5-sided figures are called. And based on my chart, a 5-sided figure is a pentagon, like the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. So I'm going to type in pentagon. And then I need to drag whether they are regular or irregular. So which one of these looks perfect with their side lengths and their angles, and which one looks not perfect? This guy looks pretty perfect to me, so I'm going to call him, I'm going to call this guy a regular pentagon. This one has some longer edges and some shorter edges, some fat angles, some right angles, so that means that this one is irregular. And that's all you have to do. So labeling them as what shape they are based on the number of sides, then labeling them as irregular or regular. You will also do that on this slide. And then to finish up, you're just going to be talking about congruency. So what congruent means in math is a fancy term for equal or same on different shapes. So if we look here at the angles, I've got two right angles that have these triangles. And then I have in this corner and this corner, it's only one dash. So both of these in the green circle are equal, they are congruent. In the blue circle, two dashes on the angle means that those angles are congruent. It's also the same on side lengths because these are the exact same triangles. So the one dash on the side in red means that both of the red sides are the same. The two dashes on the orange sides mean the orange sides are the same, and the three dashes on the yellow mean the yellow side is the same. So basically, wherever you see these hash marks, that means that they are equal or congruent to something else with the same number of hash marks. So let's look here. I am looking for polygons, and I'm going to put them into the Venn diagram, whether they have congruent sides or congruent angles, or if they have both congruent sides and congruent angles. So let's look at that. If they have all equal sides, I'm going to put them here. If they have all equal angles, I'll put them here. If they have all equal sides and angles, I'll put them in the middle. So let's look at this guy. I see one dash on all of these, and all the little slanty marks in the corner for angles are the same too. So that means that I have congruent sides and I have congruent angles. So I'm going to pop him in the middle. Now on the other hand, I could have a shape like this one. It looks like my sides are the same length. Now let's look at our angles. I've got two right angles. I've got a 1 mark for these two angles and 2 on this angle. That means that my angles are not the same. So if my angles are not the same and my side lengths are the same, then I'm just going to put it in the congruent sides part. So I'll leave these four for you to figure out. If they have the same length of sides, they go here. If they have all equal angles, they go here. If they have all equal angles and all equal sides, they go in the middle. The last thing you're going to do is talk about what that's called. If they have all equal sides and equal lengths for angles and side lengths, what are they called? And I would refer back to this slide to help you. So you have the rest of this slide to complete and these, and I don't think those will take you too long. And then just sorting these by their sides and angles with this last vocabulary question. You have a few pages in your religion workbook to complete. For Lewis and Clark, the story that you read this week, my foot is falling asleep. We're going to be doing our writing prompt. So just do like 4 to 5 sentences answering this question. How did explorers help America become the country it is today? And we're talking about this in social studies and reading, so it should be something that you are familiar with. We've also done an Explorer project back in October when we're talking about exploring the New World. So you can also talk about beginning explorers too if you'd like to reference that knowledge. Just 4 to 5 sentences about that writing prompt. Okay, research report. Take your time, whatever step you're on, finish it up. When you're done with that step, go to the next step. So once you finish your questions and your research, you should be working on the outline. Once you finish the outline, you'll be switching to a draft. Now, let's say for my outline, let's just talk about this body paragraph here. In my body paragraph, I need to have a topic sentence, some main ideas with details, and a conclusion sentence. So in my outline, it would look like something like this. I would have a whole bunch of details, a whole bunch of main ideas, and then I would have my topic and my conclusion sentence all on my outline, because your outline for conclusion, your body paragraphs look like this. You should actually have the sentences written there. So all you have to do once you have your outline written is to copy those sentences into a paragraph, and put them all together so that when you're all done, your paragraph is one cohesive paragraph with a tab at the beginning for an indent, and the rest of your sentences are all connected. You do not need to rewrite anything. You just have to cut and paste. So when you have those separate sentences, copy and paste them into your draft document here, and you should have a draft in no time. So take your time with the draft or the outline. When you finish that, go ahead and work on the draft. My goal is for you to finish the draft by the end of the day Friday, so we can be editing and be published by Tuesday. That's our goal. But go at the pace that you're at, and I'm not too concerned because the next project has some good leeway in it too for finishing it. Go ahead with spelling. I don't know why it's being wonky with Access, so if you're still struggling with accessing lesson 25, feel free to let me know and I can reshare the document with you. Or if you're continuing to struggle, you can share a different document with some practice activities. So we normally do an Oregon Trail simulation with Mrs. Miskey. So I wanted you to be able to play the Oregon Trail game online. It's kind of a beginning video game that your parents will probably recognize. It's got some very interesting beginning graphics that you can play here. I put 2 versions just in case they don't work. But this is just a fun activity. There's nothing to turn in. It's just seeing if you'll survive making it from middle to the far west coast of our country based on the choices that you choose as you go along. And I believe I was playing this version and it was pretty fun. So go ahead and check those out if you would like to today. The last thing are some workbook pages in science. So let me, before I finish, just review real quick what you should have to turn in. So on Friday and into Monday, make sure that when you do the packet pickup, again, it should have all your stuff in like one bag that's labeled. That way when I bring it home to work on, it is pretty easy for me to come and grab it. You should turn in your Journeys textbook, your Hound Dog True book if you have not already done so, any library books that are at home, and any battle books. I have several battle books that are not in the classroom, so make sure you let me know what those are. If you did any paper activities in the packet, please make sure you turn those in. And any workbook pages you did for religion and science, you can turn those in as well. You will be getting, it's called a Reader's Magazine, so it's some more stories for Journeys, but just in a smaller version. Your Spanish folder, your next 2 packets, and then a couple of magazines, Scholastic News and Adventure, just for your resource, and a postcard from me. If you have any questions on what to turn in, please let me know. Otherwise, that should be it for all I wanted to share. Please let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, we should be all set. Have a great day, everybody.